Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was supposed to be the closing chapter of Geralt's trilogy, but seeing that the game has enjoyed a huge success, it's highly unlikely that CD Projekt Red will lay the franchise to rest anytime soon. If Witcher 4 is indeed coming out, here are our 4 predictions for the scenario. Without spoiling too much, with different endings, the story of the Butcher of Blaviken, aka the White Wolf, aka Geralt, is pretty much closed. If the developers wanted to go back to where the story left off, they would have to pick a canon ending, and decide on which characters to bring back for a sequel. The Witcher games have always been about difficult choices and alternative approaches, so many gamers would have to forget what they have seen and done. The Wild Hunt featured the most prominent characters from both the original series and the games, so there wouldn't be much to surprise us with anyway. Our first prediction is this: no more Geralt. It would be great to see the story from a different perspective, or even make our own Monster Slayer from a different Witcher school. But not the Cat school. Those guys are pretty messed up. However, that wouldn't be as much fun. What made Geralt work so well as a protagonist was the fact that he was an established character who has already made friends and foes, and has his stories to tell. It would be fun to try other characters from the series as well, but those who haven't been explored yet, like for example Eskel or Lambert. But let's be honest, can they be as cool as Geralt? I don't think so. What about a new character? A player-made protagonist like from a BioWare game who was born yesterday wouldn't do either. In the Witcher games, we weren't controlling Geralt, we're influencing him and making our own version of the character, who has already been defined by the previous novels and games. We simply can't imagine a different Witcher, and it's like with Batman. Sure, Dick Grayson and Jim Gordon can don the cape every once in a while, but there is only one Batman. That being said, there's only one true Witcher. Okay, so we're stuck with Geralt anyway, and he's getting old, and he has already saved the world a couple of times. What about the origin story though? The Witcher's origins haven't been explored that well, and we'd love to see what made Geralt a mutant, I mean the man he is today. We'd love to see the Witcher schools back in their glory days and receive some training from a younger Vesemir, or see what the world looked like 50 or 60 years ago. We could venture to Ciri's homeland, Sintra, before its destruction, or even see Nilfgaard before Emmer's rule. We could spend more time with the minorities who have been pretty much ignored in the Wild Hunt, or even experience some Witcher tales from the road, without the bigger plot in place. Many argue that the Witcher universe works best in short stories, where Geralt is on the road and gets himself in trouble, meeting all sorts of zany characters in a faraway land. The cynical Witcher isn't the type to save the world or go on an epic quest. Usually he gets involved in bigger events because he wants to make money and can't keep his mouth shut when faced with injustice, thus becoming the Lone Ranger archetype like from a Western movie who's just passing by but ends up being the voice of reason, who's doing what is right. That being said, we'd love to see Geralt on the road in his glory days. Still, there's another character just like that, a loner, who's always on the road. The Witcher's apprentice and something of a chosen one, Ciri, was the main focus of the books, and the third game we finally got a chance to play as her. Sadly though, it seems it'll be our last time as the ashen-haired heroine, but doesn't have to be that way. In the novel, Ciri has received Witcher training, but she has never undergone the trial of grasses, so technically she's not a Witcher. Apart from that, she has also received some magical training, and well, there's this one detail, she can travel across dimensions at will. Sure, the character is one of the strongest beings in the Witcher universe, but it would be great to go on a bigger adventure with her nevertheless. There's certainly room for creativity here. She's just in her 20s, the interdimensional travel could surely give us exotic locations, and the period between the novels and the games seems like a good time period to explore. If one of the fan theories is true, she's not the chosen one, but her child will be. It would be great to shake some things up, or even move the story 20, 30 years into the future, a lone Witcher-like Ciri in a post-apocalyptic medieval world. Count me in. Most of all, however, we all love strong heroine in games, and despise eye candy who's just there because of the cleavage. Sure, we got a chance to play as Ciri a few times, but that just wasn't enough. I'm not saying Ciri can be the new Lara Croft, but a man can dream, can't he? Seeing that Hearts of Stone was largely successful and Blood and Wine is still in production, there's a fourth option: more expansions. Many adore the Hearts of Stone expansion, and some say that old Geralt's story is even better than the chase after Geralt's adopted daughter. If the upcoming expansion takes cue from what makes Hearts of Stone successful, we'll have another dozen of hours of great gameplay and storytelling on our hands. The best thing, however, is that the expansions don't reference the main story, and thus, technically, CD Projekt can keep on releasing them forever. And that's certainly what we'd love to see. an expansion could go anywhere at this point, even to a prequel story. Apart from that, an expansion wouldn't need a budget of a AAA game, it would be easy to build on what was done in the Wild Hunt. We wouldn't have to wait 3 years for a new Witcher. What is more, Hearts of Stone had the best quest. A heist quest, a wedding quest, bargaining with the devil. The quests in Hearts of Stone were original and simply terrific, just because CD Projekt could do something different and didn't have to worry about an epic fantasy storyline. We can't wait to see what they have in store next, and this form of content, in our humble opinion, is the best way to experience more of the Witcher universe. Wild Hunt's success makes Witcher 4 almost a certainty, but let's not get hasty. There's still one more expansion and Cyberpunk coming out. Let us know what your predictions for the scenario are in the comments, and as always, keep it here at GamePressure.com.